Hello and welcome to this presentation on choking in sport under pressure. My name's Carolyn Gray and I am a psychology student at the University of New England. Now there's some tennis examples in this presentation as I'm a tennis fan, so I hope you enjoy those. Now the term choke comes from the concept that you feel like you can't breathe, like someone is strangling you, as when you're under pressure there is a lack of oxygen. Choking happens when you get in your own way mentally, or your mind prevents you from performing at your best. A more complex definition is that choking is the result of attentional disturbances caused by self-focus or distraction, and it can lead to impaired performance, so that your performance progressively deteriorates and the athlete can't contain their control over their performance. And it often occurs in high pressure situations or situations that are important to the athlete. And a classic example is the match between Jana Novotná and Steffi Graf in the 1993 Wimbledon Grand Final, where Jana Novotná was points away from winning the match and had a classic choking meltdown. And a more contemporary example is our very own Australian tennis player Sam Stosur, who has had a very public battle with choking. And the hallmarks of choking are self-criticism, decreased confidence, and significant decreases in performance, which is a maladaptive response to pressure. And choking often happens when you are in command of your performance and you actually might be leading or winning the match, and there's just a drastic change in your mindset due to the pressure and performance anxiety, and that causes you to change your motor patterns. So on a conscious level, we have the athlete having a change from thinking about now, where they're calm and composed and can perform to their potential, to thinking, oh, what's in the future? And they're jumping ahead, and that's when the anxiety increases and the performance is disrupted. And then we have on a deeper, more conscious level that the choking is caused by the athlete's nervous system registering a sense of internal danger, and that reflexively clicks their system into self-protective mode. And there are two models that really underpin the causes of choking. The self-focus model, where low self-conscious people are more susceptible to choking than high self-conscious people, as they are used to performing when the focus is on themselves. And then the distraction model, where there's a performance deficit because your attention shifts from task-relevant cues to irrelevant cues. And this attentional model is where the athlete's nervousness suddenly and inexplicably spikes, their muscles tighten, they literally have trouble catching their breath, and they get flooded with self-doubts and negative thinking, and that erodes their self-confidence and distracts them from what they are doing at that time. And therefore there is a decrease in proper mechanics, timing, endurance, and peak performance is just not possible. So if we look at a Grand Slam situation as example, we'll use our very own Sam Stosur once again, playing at the Australian Open in front of a home crowd. There's a lot of pressure, and if you are playing in front of a large audience, as in the Australian Open, it's an important event. There's an increased risk of choking, as there's an increased focus on yourself, and so they would be important antecedents to choking. So we can have distractors, and that takes our focus away from the task, and we can have visual distractors and we can have auditory distractors. So visual distractors can include, if we're looking at the Grand Slams, the spectators, that you want to look good while you're playing. You might actually be just trying too hard and exerting too much effort. You're looking at the scoreboard, the camera crews. The auditory distractors could be crowd, aeroplanes, phones, announcements, an overwhelming fear of failure, and the cognitive state anxiety comes into play with an increased sense of worry and negative thoughts, and the somatic anxiety is the perception of the moment-to-moment changes in physical activation. So there's an over-analysis of the actual body mechanics. Okay, so too much attention on the self can actually be counterproductive, and when you're performing at a high level, you actually want your skills to be performed automatically. Automatic execution becomes inhibited during choking because the skills can't be formed quickly and automatically as they need to be. And we also look at fatigue. When you get fatigued, that inhibits your ability to think clearly, make clear decisions, be focused, and your mental capacity is inhibited. There are a number of tools that can be used to manage or alleviate choking, and coaches and sports psychologists can use face-to-face meetings, emails, telephone calls. They can just observe their athletes. The athletes themselves can use a reflective diary, and this can promote self-reflection. And there are some particular methods such as imagery, and imagery aims to increase self-confidence, and pre-competition routines can help focus on relaxation and aims to keep the mental focus away from irrelevant anxiety-producing thoughts. And if you actually have too many thoughts, that can take your attention away from the task. And focusing just on one cue can help you to stay focused when under high pressure, and that can be very, very supportive. And then we have self-talk. Self-talk can be very motivational and plays a key role in reactions to situations, and it can mediate between the event and the response, so it can lead to an increase in energy, effort, and positive attitude. And to finish up, we're just going to take a look at the classic example of the choking of Jan Novotná in the 1993 Wimbledon Grand Final. It certainly doesn't look like a pleasant experience. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you found it educational and instructional. Thank you very much.